Good Saturday morning, everybody. It's Mason Sapesky here with you. Today we are going to recap the games that I predicted for the Week 1 slate of games for WPIAL high school football in the area. If you live in the Pittsburgh area, I highly recommend or suggest watching either WTAE Channel 4, KDKA Channel 2, or WPXI Channel 11 every Friday night at 11 o'clock p.m. because they have some really great high school football highlights. They bring a select slate of games, and that's how I actually see the highlights of the games I predict. Some of the game now I don't select these games with them. Some of the games I select, they decide to cover on their channels, and so I personally DVR all three of them, and then I watch them all Saturday morning and see highlights of them so I can talk to you guys about some of the games that I predicted last night. The first game I'm going to have for you guys, and I'm sorry I didn't predict this one. I totally should have. It was on my list, but I had to cut down. I was wanting to cut down to only do so many of them so I wouldn't be overloading everyone with all these games. But I just want to real quickly say about this one. Aliquippa 37, Armstrong 19. Aliquippa looked strong as always last night. Armstrong's going to have a good year. It's just they faced a really tough team last night, and I'm sure we'll get to more of those two teams later this season. They're both going to be really good, so keep an eye out for both of them. Next on now to the games that I actually did predict. Montour beat Moon last night, 35-21. I expected this outcome to occur. Moon didn't look bad, though. They had a nice comeback there at the end. Unfortunately for Moon Tigers fans, it was not enough to win the game. But Moon will have a decent year, though, I think, in my opinion. Montour is going to be really good, but Moon will also be really good as well. Now on to this one. This game totally took away my credibility somewhat, but California beat Solroy last night 42-0. I predicted Solroy to win this one 27-20. Just like every week it seems like I'm going to have a terrible prediction. Last week it was Derry at Greater Latrobe. I predicted Derry to win 24-23. Latrobe won 56-14. This week I predict Solroy to beat California 27-20. California wins 42-0. But look, California is going to be really good this year. Keep an eye out for them in Class A. They could easily be up there with one of the championship. They can easily be one of the contenders to win a WPIAL championship this year the way they looked last night. Very strong for sure. By the way, though, back to the terrible predictions and all that, I'm just starting really to learn about some of these other high schools and all that in the area and all that, whether it be from people I go to college with now that are alumni of those schools, and also too, I mostly invested a lot of my time in the prior years into my high school, Hempfield area, who lost last night, unfortunately, to Connellsville area. I invested a lot of time into them last year, so I didn't get much time to research or go through the other score predictions. So really, this is my first year in a while getting to really know the different high schools and all that, and what kind of teams and all that they have, and make these type of predictions. So bear with me here, I'm just getting used to this kind of stuff. But yeah, wonder what next week's bad score prediction will be. Who knows? We'll find out next week. Maybe there won't be one. Hopefully not. This was a good upset, though, I predicted. Avonworth beat Central Valley 28-20. Wow. I was impressed by Avonworth. They're going to have a really strong team this year. But yeah, for sure, keep an eye out for both these teams. They're both going to be very competitive. Avonworth is going to be especially competitive. Look out for them. They could be a good team this year and be the champion of Class 2A again. And now this was an interesting game. I saw highlights of this one on KDKA. Mount Lebanon 19, Bethel Park 16 in overtime. I was expecting Lebo to win by much more than Lebo won by. So, yeah, I mean, it was a very competitive game. Credit to Bethel Park. They're going to be a very competitive team in 5A this year, so keep an eye out for them for sure. Lebo's 2-0, though, right now, and they're going to be really good this year. So, yeah, that was an interesting game, but Lebo got the job done. This was one that surprised me a little bit. I thought Keystone Oaks was going to pull off an upset, but they did not last night as the South Park Eagles defeated them by a final score of 15-10. This was they didn't have highlights of this game on any channel, but I just put this. It was a back and forth battle. I was following this one last night on the WPIAL score stream that WTAE Channel 4, the news I watch, offers, but I was following this back and forth. Keystone Oaks was up, South Park was up. Keystone Oaks was up 10-9 late, but then South Park must have scored a touchdown to take the win 15-10. That was a good win by South Park. They're now 2-0. North Allegheny defeated Cannon McMillan last night 30-6. They're in a class of their own, North Allegheny. They're just that competitive. They are so good. They're so talented and strong. They're just going to be too dominant this year. They're dominant every year. They're easily going to soar to the WPIAL championship in 6A, I believe. And they could possibly be a team that could win the PIAA Class 6A championship. So keep an eye out for North Allegheny for sure. As for Cannon McMillan, they'll be competitive this year. I expect them to get, after these past 2 weeks now, I changed my mind. I expect them to get the final 6A playoff spot as opposed to Seneca Valley. Seneca Valley just looks not the best this year. They unfortunately lost last night to Peters Township, which is disappointing because I'm somewhat of a fan of Seneca's. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who gets that spot, whether it be Cannon Mac or Seneca Valley. Beaver beat Beaver Falls last night 31-28. This was an interesting rivalry game for sure. Beaver Falls was winning. Beaver was winning. It was another back and forth battle. It was a close battle, and that's what you like to see in rivalry games like this. This was a great outcome for sure. This was a great football contest, and both these teams are going to be very good this year. So keep an eye out for Beaver and Beaver Falls this year. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today in terms of high school football. Have a good one. We'll be back next Friday night with some WPIAL Week 2 score predictions. Anyway, this is Mason Sapesky signing off. Have a good day. Stay safe. Peace.